The Spurs taking on the Timberwolves. For the Spurs, they pride themselves on each and every step that leads to victory. The preparation, the focus, the sheer will. Each game a new opportunity to prove their identity. Timberwolves, Spurs, coming up next.
The 2K Sports pregame show.
Hey y'all, thanks for joining us. We'll watch the Minnesota Timberwolves in this one as they go up against the San Antonio Spurs. Well, for San Antonio, they'll look to attack, but with efficiency. They want to push the action, but they also want to make the most out of their possessions. They feel that's the key to being competitive on a consistent basis. The franchise, Karl Anthony Towns, obviously a phenomenal scorer, can rebound. Where does he go from here, Kenny?
Is that the new nickname you're giving him? The franchise?
Well, he is kind of their franchise.
I didn't know. There's a lot of guys. Well, he says he wants to be the best player, To come anywhere close to that, you've got to be able to control the game on both ends, though.
When you take on a name like franchise, you have to show the world that you want it. So the question is, do you want it?
It's Friday night, and live on 2K Sports, we're going to bring you the NBA in all its excitement. With Greg Anthony and Hall of Famer Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan, and we're pleased to have on the sidelines tonight David Aldridge. DA, it's all yours.
Well, guys, DeMar DeRozan is a prolific scorer, but he's also a dangerous drive and kick weapon. He said, "I never pay attention to the defender guarding me. I look at the four guys behind him and how they react. A lot of times I don't even look to score. I draw 3 or 4 guys and get my teammates open shots." Kevin?
Great vision, David. Thank you. These two teams using their size to full advantage, Doris. Both teams able to run possessions through their big men up front.
And as you know, Kevin, in today's NBA, not every team has the personnel to enter the ball into the post and run action off of it. One of the things coaches will tell me, Kev, is there may be no more valuable thing at any level of basketball than a big man who's a triple threat, a guy with size who can pass, put it on the deck, or score himself.
And the starting lineup for the Timberwolves. Wiggins and Covington are the forward pair. The tandem at the 1 and the 2, Teague and Culver. And it's Towns in at the pivot spot manning the middle. And for the Spurs, it's Aldridge at the power forward with Poeltl at center. Derek White is out there with DeJounte Murray. And it's DeRozan in at the small forward. Pass to Culver. Pass to Towns. Wiggins surveying the floor. Lets it go from 14. That one rolling around and rims out. And so White will bring it up for the Spurs. DeRozan against Wiggins. Now here's Murray. Guarded closely. 5 to shoot. The Spurs need to get a shot off here. And it's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. They turn it over.
Well, this is the first full year now for Ryan Saunders. Let's remember he was hired by Minnesota full-time after an interim stint last season. And boy, did the players love playing for him.
And the pass to Wiggins. 1:43 left to play here in the first. That one drops for him.
Well, he's got the wide shoulders, the natural balance. Andrew Wiggins taking the hit and finishing.
And as we know, Doris, Ryan Saunders, the son of the late, great Minnesota legend, Flip Saunders.
Well, certainly the family has history with the organization, but in no way did Ryan Saunders get the job due to name only. This guy proved he can get wins from this Minnesota roster last year. For Saunders, he's known as a player development guy, and the ability to handle superstars is part and parcel to the job.
And he's good on the 3 ball.
Well, DeMar DeRozan has now proven that he is willing to consistently shoot the three-point shot. And Kevin Harlan, that's a problem for the defense.
Passes it to Towns. And Pirtle pulls it down. The Spurs have gone 2 of 3 here to start out the game. Outside, White. Offensive rebound, tipped away. Covington with the steal. Here's Teague, and it's slammed in by Teague.
We are talking about length and activity of Mr. Robert Covington. You want to know why coaches love his defensive presence? It's right there for you.
Now here's Murray. Just over 2.5 minutes played here so far in the first quarter. Murray against Teague. Here's Towns. The kick out to Teague. Over Aldridge. And it's sent back by Aldridge. At the end of one, a closely contested game so far. Timberwolves lead by 1. And we'll be back in just a moment with the start of the second quarter. All-star big man Karl Anthony Towns is hungry to maximize his potential.
I want to be the best player who ever played, and I feel that I could do that. I think I have the God-given talent and the God-given abilities to make it happen, and I have total confidence in myself every single day. I wake up that I could be the greatest player who ever played. I know if I continue to put the work ethic in and continue to do all the little things I need to do, I could find myself in that conversation. But, obviously I got to learn every single day, never take no days for granted.
His coaches, Greg, and teammates love hearing that.
And how can you not? I mean, that kind of drive is special. And with his tools and potential, hard to put a ceiling on just how good he can be.
And some good action in the books as we get back to the game that's been pretty close here so far. And let's quickly break down the game we're watching with the Timberwolves, guys.
Well, you come in thinking they're going to settle for perimeter jump shots. Think again.
They've certainly made the commitment to pounding the basketball into the painted area, and boy, is it paying dividends.
And a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. On the court for San Antonio, Jamari Carroll is out there with Rudy Gay, and it's Mills, then it's Trey Lyles, and it's Forbes in at the shooting guard position. Well, Noah Vonleh was given a lot of minutes to work with last season, and he showed solid improvement.
Well, Vonleh was productive both as a scorer and a rebounder. He made great use of the opportunity presented to him. You think about it. He came into the league at such a young age. You forget he's still years away from what we should consider his prime.
Free throw good, Vonleh. Of course, you can't help but notice the teams are shooting earlier in the shot clock. One theory being the faster you shoot, the more possessions you get. Well, and the numbers would speak to that.
No doubt, Kevin. And the reality is, for announcers and for fans, that breakneck pace makes it more exciting for us. One NBA coach told me this past year that your field goal percentage in the first 10 seconds of the shot clock gives you your best opportunity to make it. And the longer that shot clock goes on, the more your field goal percentage dips. So, hey, good for us, good for the fans, good for the teams.
And that's because the defense has a chance to settle, correct?
Exactly right.
And Doris, last season, rookie Josh Okogie ended up contributing more than the franchise thought he would.
Yeah, he was terrific as a 3-and-D player for the Wolves. This guy could end up being the steal of the draft, sort of in that Robert Covington mold.
Bellinelli, he's checked in for San Antonio. The Timberwolves also with the sub. Zhang's checked in. He hits the second from the line. Here is Forbes. He's been quiet so far. Still no points in the game. On the sideline, let's catch up with Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, my cousin LaMarcus Aldridge is not the flashiest player, but he is respected. His former teammate in Portland, C.J. McCollum, said he hasn't changed his game to try and fit the new NBA. He shoots mid-range, scores under the basket, strong as heck. He knows who he is. And Kevin, LaMarcus isn't really my cousin, but his game never goes out of style.
You're right, D.A., and he is still getting it done. Thank you.
And they really haven't been able to get into any kind of an offensive flow this quarter. And for a franchise searching for stability, it doesn't help that the Wolves have had a number of head coaching changes.
Well, obviously, the Wolves aren't alone in that problem, Greg. I think it can be difficult to identify just the right kind of leadership. And when you do get someone like Greg Popovich or Eric Spoelstra or Rick Carlisle, you try to hold on for dear life.
So it's the Spurs now. Jeff Teague unable to get his shot to go. Kicks it out to Gay. Jacks up a three. Buries it from three-point range. Gay's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball.
Gotta recognize the situation. Trying to get a 2-for-1.
Well, this is where the play call is crucial, right? If you're in a 2-for-1, you've got to get the first shot quickly.
Now, here's Vonleh. Back to Teague. Gay with the block.
And got to respect those long arms of Gay. I mean, superb at swatting shots away with those big hands.
And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul.
Wow, he got whacked on that one. Shouldn't be much debate there.
The Timberwolves have made 2 of their previous 3 free throws in today's game.
And look back a season ago. They did a solid job at the line, about 79% of their free throws.
And he makes the first.
And they're really getting more points at the free throw line here in the second quarter.
A different look now for San Antonio. Marcus Aldridge is checked in for Trey Lyles. DeMar DeRozan comes in for DeMari Carroll. And it's DeJounte Murray in for Bryn Forbes. Big group substitution now for Minnesota. Towns, he's checked in for Noah Vonleh. Robert Covington comes in for Jake Layman. Wiggins is checked in for Josh Okogie. And Culver's subbed in for Jeff Teague.
And it's been a really good day for him at the line. Some other bigs have well-documented problems on their free throws. He's not one of them. Not an easy finish right there, but a beautiful move to give himself just enough space to get in close and knock it down.
Pass to Towns. 4 seconds left, and it's good on the way in. Towns has got his first 2 points of the night.
Well, just tremendous persistence from Karl Anthony Towns. Even under duress, the ability to stay focused.
So that'll be it for the first half. Fairly even battle underway in this one. Timberwolves ahead. They're up by 4. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Kevin, thank you. Andrew, the energy and effort were apparent throughout that first half. How were you able to do it?
We had a good practice, working hard, really putting things together. Keep doing that, we can come out with a W.
Hey, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, Dave, for the great interview. Don't go away, folks. We'll be back for the second half of basketball right after this.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, folks. It was a closely contested first quarter for Minnesota. Their field goal percentage was a robust 50% in the period. That's something they can hang their hat on. The second quarter was a tight battle, but they were the slightly better team. Not by very much, however. And Kenny, what did you see out there from the Timberwolves?
Well, it's always a little bit of a challenge playing on the road, but they came in mentally prepared and physically prepared. The energy in the arena was fierce, but they didn't cave in.
Shaq, let's get your thoughts on San Antonio.
Well, on offense, I like to see them play inside out more. Attack the basket, generate easy points. And then once the defense collapses, kick it out to the perimeter for open looks. Trust me, I know. Rick Fox, big shot Bob, that's all we did.
That's all for now. Say goodbye to the folks.
And as we get into this third quarter, as we've seen so far, neither team able to create much separation on the scoreboard yet. Doris, you and I enjoy discussing pure scorers, great shooters, but guys that can score a myriad of ways. Give us a couple of names that we don't always hear about that really impressed you.
Well, one young man who I think has got an offensive game that is really continuing to grow and is quite beautiful already is Zach LaVine. But probably the best example, Kev, would have to be the multi-time winner of the Six-Man Award, and that's Sweet Lou Williams. This guy can score against any defense. He's great in pick and roll. He has become a better playmaker, but Lou Williams is a problem to guard.
And as people will say, he is a professional scorer.
That's perfect, yes.
Checking out the group now for Ryan Saunders to start the second half. Culver the off guard with Wiggins at the 3. Covington at the 4 with Towns in at the 5. And it's Teague in at the 1. And so it's Teague with it. He'll bring it up for the Timberwolves. The lead is 2. Towns is doubled. On the wing, Wiggins. Good, and the assist goes to Towns. Wiggins has got his second bucket of the night.
Well, there's that in-between game, right? Wiggins silky smooth from the start.
Well, Doris, no doubt that Karl Anthony Towns is the star of his team right now and in the future.
I think, Kevin, for all the drama and all the turnover we have seen, the one constant has been Karl Anthony Towns' productivity. The question now for the team is, how do they build a title contender around him?
And making his return from the ACL tear, DeJounte Murray, long, athletic, and young, he still has a very bright future.
And Murray winning second team all-defense in 2018. And Greg, at that time, he was only 21.
And that's been his strong suit. If he can hit perimeter shots consistently, he can be a star.
Trey Lyles checked in for the Spurs. Mills comes in for Derek White. And we're about a minute and a half here into the second half. Pass to Towns. From 12 feet out, uses the glass to drop it in. And the Timberwolves lead by 4.
I mean, guys, how good is the form and the release? Karl Anthony Towns capable in the mid-range as well.
And Mills kicks to Murray. The pass to Lyles. Here's Aldridge. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line.
And in a league that's obsessed with threes and layups, LaMarcus Aldridge defying the trend, really feasting on a steady diet of mid-range jumpers.
Looking at who's out there now for the Spurs. Rudy Gay's checked in for Trey Lyles, and it's Bellinelli in for Murray. Both free throws good from Aldridge. And that turnaround jumper of Aldridge's, Greg, just impossible to defend.
Long arms, that high release point, when it's falling, well, we saw him give OKC 56. This man can take over.
And it's Towns missing. San Antonio trailing here. For the tie, and it's blocked.
And great positioning there from Culver. That's what allowed him to get the block.
There's 48 seconds left to play in the third. Here's Aldridge, and it's all evened up. Aldridge has got 6 points.
I'll tell you, you allow him to get to a spot, and it's over, right? Defense unable to even challenge the shot.
Pass to Towns. Wiggins outside. That 3 off the mark. For San Antonio, they've gone 2 of 3 from the field to start the second half. 5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. DeRozan surveying the D. Here's a Kogi. Got it. Good job in the low post. And the Timberwolves lead by 2. And here's Mills for the lead. And the last second attempt does not go in for him.
And this coaching staff appreciates the effort from Culver. The defense is about
It's still anybody's game as we've reached the end of 3. Timberwolves lead by 2. Live from the AT&T Center in San Antonio, you're watching 2K Sports. And it's been a very competitive game so far as we get rolling here in quarter number 4. Spurs shooting 43% from the floor. Rose in the 2 with Carroll at the 3. Gang and Aldridge are up front. And it's Forbes in at the point. And that's who's in the game for the Spurs. Now Carroll. 4 on the shot clock. To take the lead. A three-pointer is right on target. Carroll's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. Timberwolves trail. Higgins outside. Here's Towns. The rebound by the Spurs.
Listen, he knows he should have made that shot. We'll see if they can work it back to him in that same area.
DeRozan passes to Aldridge. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. It's going to be on Andrew Wiggins.
2 shots.
The free throw drops for Aldridge. A different look now for San Antonio. Pirtle, he's checked in for Gay. White comes in for DeMar Carroll, and it's DeJounte Murray in for Bryn Forbes. Robert Covington's checked in for the Timberwolves. Teague comes in for Culver.
Tremendous job at the line as usual. You can always bank on him in those situations.
Pass to Towns. Can't hit that one. And the Spurs going the other way now. Here's Murray, and he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time, the whistle blowing. And Minnesota gets called for the foul. And no good as the first free throw missing for him. We'll see if he can nail the second. And the second of 2 is good. That gives them a 4-point cushion. Fourth quarter still young, just over a minute play. Murray against Teague. Down low, here's Towns. That's good, and so Teague with the assist. 6 points for Karl Anthony Towns.
Well, a point guard must understand window of opportunity, and Jeff Teague specializes in exactly that.
Here's Aldridge. Andrew Wiggins pulls it in. And so it's Wiggins with it. He'll bring it up for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Teague against Murray. There's the feed to Towns. Kicks it out to Wiggins. 6 to shoot. Off target from outside. San Antonio's gone 3 of 7 tonight from three-point territory. DeRozan finds Aldridge. Murray outside. Count it!
Oh, you just love seeing a player with absolutely no fear.
Yeah, Greg, to me, more often than not, when you attack, good things happen.
Minnesota calls timeout. They're trailing by 4. 56 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And now we get the chance to present our Jordan Player of the Game, LaMarcus Aldridge.
And he's provided them with a major mismatch on that low block tonight. That they've been able to lean on his scoring in the paint. And if nothing else has worked, he's given them a reliable option on every possession.
And on our sideline, our reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, over that last break, Kevin, I got a chance to hear what Ryan Saunders said to the team. He told them this game wasn't over yet. He said, don't give up. If we make a few big plays, we're right back in this game. Stay the course. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks, David. Murray surveying the D. Looking for Aldridge. He gets it there. Rebound, Minnesota.
And the activity he shows around the rim is why he is such a respected defender.
And what you love about his work defensively, the ability to challenge and change shots without fouling.
Here's Towns. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line.
Well, he's got moves and counter moves inside. Towns makes the defender pick his poison.
And it's tied up with that one.
You can't have any more pressure on you than he had at the line right there. Shows you what he's made up as he's able to tie it up.
San Antonio calls timeout. Murray outside. Pass to Aldridge. Back to Murray. Puts it up from 12. Can't cash in. Hurdle. And that one barely misses as he draws contact. 2 free throws coming up. That one is on Towns.
So how cool is it, Kev, that Jakob Poeltl makes NBA history as the first ever Austrian-born player in the league? Doesn't matter what else he does in his career, he'll always have that distinction. That's cool.
Can't sink it. And that was an important free throw. And timeout called by Ryan Saunders. What do you think, guys?
Not sure they have enough time for the catch and shoot here. Only hope is to try for a tip in off the inbound. They've got their work cut out for them on this possession.
And so it's San Antonio who scraped by with the win. That was a fun night of basketball and fabulous finish as they continued to wait out until the very last moment to seal it.
And there are so many times when you see these tight games won at home, that advantage of having that crowd behind you oftentimes is the ultimate X factor.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Kevin, thank you. DeMar, this team is playing well together. How are you encouraging and fostering that sense of all of you being together and playing well?
We're just making everybody comfortable. We're making each and everybody on this team comfortable. If it's jump shots, if it's attacking the basket, even if it's on the defensive end. We're just giving each other confidence every time we practice.
And it sure looks like it out there tonight, DeMar. Thanks a lot. Kevin, back to you.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much.